Okay, I'm going to show you guys a couple of different ways to replace a sky. This was sent to me by Mandy Clark, and I wanted to do one with trees in it. I'm going to call this one the blending mode method. And there's a couple ways to do this. First of all, you see how there's a lot of golden tones in this sky. That's kind of what we need to pick here. There's a little bit of a sun behind them, but nothing like strong. So we're going to drag this over, and she sent me a web size one, and obviously the skies are full resolution. And I'm going to put this somewhere right in here. And then I'm going to go down here to blending options. And I'm going to play with these sliders down here. So you're going to watch as some of our stuff comes back here. And I'll probably change the blending mode to multiply because that seems to help, and also reduce the opacity here just a little bit, because you wouldn't get an extremely a ton of color out of this. But I would also bring some color back whenever you do it. But you can kind of watch the trees up here and see where the fringing is. And all those kind of things. And you can go back and erase it and do different things. You can play with your blending modes and see which ones you like better. Darken, multiply, and normal are about the same here. I think that darken or normal seem to leave a little bit more color in there. So either of those is good. So I'm just going to click OK, and then I'll add a layer mask here. And then I'll grab, a black brush, and about 70% I'll just start taking this off of for sure down here. And then what I will probably do is reduce my opacity of my brush to about 15, and then maybe touch up in these trees a little bit, kind of bring some of that back. But we want to leave some of the color in the trees because obviously the sky behind them would leave, and you can just keep turning it on and off. And there is that one. And if you want to add a little bit more color into the trees, you can just hit a vibrance layer and clip it on and just give it a little bit more color. You could grab a hue saturation, and you could actually change the color of your sky a little bit. So if you wanted to do a little bit more blue, some of those, saturation, you can make it brighter or darker. Making it darker is probably not the best idea. So there is that one, and I'm going to call that one the blending mode method, basically because we use the blending options down here. You can also you can go back in here and change it up if you need to too. And sometimes doing the different color channels will help you do it depending upon what kind of image you've got. You can also right click and hit blending options here instead of going down to the bottom. So there is that one. Okay, we'll try a different method with this one. I feel like most people have a lot of trees in their images, so we're gonna try a little something else here. We're gonna go to color range under your select, and you'll go to highlights, and you can kind of look at your image here and see what works the best. That seems like a pretty good selection. Usually when you have a blown out sky, you're going to have blown out people. So that is part of your issue. So you'll see that it gives you these marching ants, and then you're going to hit Command J to give yourself a new layer. So you'll see it got around a lot of our trees here, but it also got our people. And you can handle that one of two ways. You can go ahead and put a layer mask on here and grab a black brush and grab a black brush and go in here and go ahead and take it off of them if you want to. Right here. Really, I just want you to do, I would mainly just worry about the skin, because you might even want to leave it on their clothes a little bit. Okay, so let's turn this back on. And I really just wanted to do something pretty. So this is 35B. And I'm just going to drag this over on top of my selection here, and I'm going to right click and hit create clipping mask, and I'm going to bring it up here, and as you can see, it got in between the trees pretty good. You can play around with your blending mode. Since I still have clouds back here, the multiply is probably not going to be the best thing. Darken is okay. Let's go ahead and reduce the opacity a little bit. Probably even keep it at normal. But as you can see, it got in the trees here really well. And I would probably even get rid of my sky underneath here. So I could just click on my sky right here and almost just grab my spot healing brush and take these clouds out just so I could have. This is not really a sky that I want to blend with. A lot of times I would like to try to blend my skies together as much as possible. So if there was, you know, there's some color in the trees down here, so I might end up moving this sky up a little bit. So like here, I might just move it up just a little bit right here, and then I'll click enter, and then I'll put a mask right here and grab a black brush at a lower opacity because I want it to blend well. And I might just come in here and take some of this off. Another thing you can do right here too, on your mask right here, you can go up here and grab a gradient and take it up. So that helps. Because I mean, your sky is going to be a lot darker up here. And the gradient method is good to do on a lot of stuff. So the previous one that we did with this one, you could also do a gradient there, and you can do it here. And you can go up as high as you want. I don't want to do it that high. So that was pretty easy. And again, you can always grab your arrow tool and move this around however you want to make sure you get the clouds the way that you want them to. Okay, so we'll call this one the selection method, and I'll probably use the gradient here as well. If you see my other videos, this is really how I normally do, especially if I just have a horizon here. So I'll just go in here and do a pretty quick selection. You just have to play. You can go up here to refine edge and decide what you can kind of see, like the house right there might need to be touched up or anything like that. So not a big deal. So anyways, it's going to give you your marching ants, and then you'll just grab your arrow tool and you'll pick a sky. I just did this one for fun. So I'm going to, oops, and I already messed it up. When you get your selection here, you need to do Command J and put it on a new layer. So you just have your sky there. And then you'll go grab your sky and drag it over and hit Create Clipping Mask. And then you'll kind of drag it up. Again, on this one, since we have a sun, I'm going to put a layer mask on there. I'm going to grab a black brush at a low opacity, and I'm going to kind of take some of this off of the bottom because I would like to blend these. Bring our house back in over there, or we could use the sky to blend our house out. You can use your sky to take some elements out that you don't like. So you can kind of see what we got here. She probably needs a little bit of touching up right here, but you see I'm only at 16%, so it's just a slow thing. And then you can just kind of click on and off to see what you like. And then this one, I'm going to do this. Watch, I'm going to hit Control, and actually, you know what? I'm going to hit Command J and duplicate that, and then I'm going to take it and do this right here. I'm just moving it around a lot, and really I want a little bit of reflection in the water. I'm going to change this to multiply, and I'm going to go all the way down to like a 16. You can take it on and off. Now I would take a black brush at about something high and just make sure that it's not on your people here, but you can kind of brush it on and off. And over here where you can kind of see the clouds, I might take that off. You really just want it for the color effect in the water. So there's that one. And again, you can do the gradient thing like we did before. You go over here and grab your gradient tool, and you do the one that goes from black to transparent, and then you can just take it off like that. So that works. Oh, and then you also have these birds in here. You can do all of them if you want to. This layer actually has all of them in it. You want to put some birds on there? Yes. That's so cool. And then since I drug them all over there, I'll erase off the ones that I don't want. So I'll just grab I don't really need to do that. I think it's kind of cool like that. I might take that one out. And maybe that one, because that one's kind of low. But I mean, that's super cool. I love the birds. And it just adds a different element. Make sure we get those off the people. So anyways, we might just move them around here. I'll take this little guy out too. So anyways, that's kind of cool. But those are 3 of the methods that I use a lot whenever I'm doing different ones. I can also do a little rainbow for you if you want to do a little rainbow. So you're just going to drag it in just like that. See how easy that is? And then you might want to put a mask on and grab a black brush and just make sure it's not on him. But the rainbows also have gradients on them too, because when you see a rainbow, it's usually, you know, brighter up here and darker. I mean, darker up here and lighter down here, not brighter. So there we go. Okay, Sarah sent me this little image over, so I was going to do something fun with it for you. So we're just going to change it up a little bit. First of all, we're going to desaturate it a little bit, darken it up. Basically, we're going to change this into a different kind of image. So what we'll do here is we'll merge those, and then I think this is not doing what I want it to right here, but I went to select color range, and then I'm looking to try to get them in there to try to do this right here. So you're just going to need to adjust it a little bit until I see them, because that's what I really want. See, they're all together here. So I'm going to hit Command J and put them on a new layer. All right. And then we're going to use Starry Night. And these are all on separate things. For this one, I want to use them all, so I'm just going to flatten it, but make sure you don't save it like that. Then I'm just going to drag this over. And this is a... Hers is web sized and mine is not. So anyways, we're going to use this sky to cover up all this other stuff and also change this whole image to a different thing. So on here, I'm just going to grab a black brush and we're going to take all this stuff out because we want this to be a nighttime sky. Just like that. You could keep a little bit of that in, I guess, if you wanted to. But there's that. And you might have to go in and adjust them a little bit if you wanted to make this a real silhouette. So that's kind of cool. You can just change a daytime shot into a little nighttime shot. What might be kind of cool is to do a gradient behind them. Let's see. Did I do radial? Yeah. Just do almost something white here. Have to move it up behind them a little bit. So that's kind of cool. But I would probably do something like that. And then bring the opacity down. Or even change it to soft light. That might work better. So then you have this little glowing image. So anyways, I just want to show you how you can kind of use a sky to change your entire image and also to cover up objects that you might not like. Okay, I'm going to do one more tutorial, and this is for the layered fireworks. And I will tell you, some of these are more high quality than others. I wanted to put real fireworks in there that were shot as secondary, because you're not going to be shooting pictures for fireworks. You might be shooting your kids watching fireworks, like I've done several times. So anyways, what I did here, this one was actually in here. This was last year. I did a quick edit on it. And I probably should have plugged my fireworks in before I edit it. So keep that in mind. You might want to do that. So this is a real firework that was taken in this image. And here's the smoke and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted you to see the real one as well as these. So what I'm going to do, in your layered one, you have a ton of them here. The only one that I don't think I'm going to use is that one. And I am going to drag them over here. and resize all of them together and do it like that. And so then I can kind of go back in here and decide, you know, like this one I might want to make bigger and put it like right here in the middle. And that one's fine. There's one here that has this one. Yeah, so you see the smoke right there? I'm going to line this one up right here. That probably also means that I need to move these over just a little bit. So, I love the gold. I would put those big. And then there's gold starburst. You know what? I don't even think I'll use that one in this one. The starburst here I might make bigger. Just kind of do that. So anyways, you can kind of see how it blends with our other one. See, that's our real one right there. And you can try different blending modes, but honestly, I think they go fine with this. They could probably, once I get them in place, what I may do is put them into one layer, and then I might just want to tweak them a little bit. So I might just add a layers level here and darken them up since it was dark here anyways. So anyways, I just wanted to show you a quick tutorial on that. And I think that's probably all I would do with that one. You can do several other things. I just thought that one was really pretty like that. And you can just enhance the ones that you already take. Whenever you take some of yours, they might be a little bit out of focus or whatever. You can just layer them on like we did here. So there's our real one there. And you can see there's not much difference there. Except, you know, that we probably wouldn't have this many fireworks out on a pontoon boat. So there you go. I'm going to do one more. This is the multiply method. You've probably seen this one a million times. I shot this picture. I love the picture. It doesn't really need anything, but I thought this was a good example because I know a lot of you guys shoot in places like this instead of the beach. So this is Sky 68B. And you see it has a sun here, and we have a sun here. This one's not like crazy. But you need to try to, one of the biggest things is you need to try to match up your skies. And the direction of the light and all of those kinds of things. You definitely just have to do that if you want them to look really natural. So I'm going to go, apparently my screen is a little bit small here. All right, I'm going to add a layer mask, and then I'm going to grab a black brush, probably a little bit lower because I like to work my way down. I'll probably go to 70. I'm going to make sure, first of all, that I don't want to take it off the sun too much. I'm going to make sure I get the people and the harsh line here. So let's do this. This one is from my online portrait workshop. I don't know, some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have. But 98% of the time, I do not replace my skies. I shoot to keep them in my skies. In my images, because it's hard to replace skies sometimes. So anyways, if you're interested in seeing how I go about keeping my sky in my pictures, or if you just want to take a workshop and you don't have time to go to one, or it's a little bit more of a less expensive option, you can check that out in the store as well. So what I did is I reduced my opacity to about 20 just so I could, you know, kind of fill in a little bit. And you can also, so that's the multiply method, but you can go in and do the thing that we did before too. Oops. You can go here and you can use this to do the blending method and bring some of it back. There's a lot of adjustments that you can make here that will help you. You can kind of see it showing through in different places. But this will really help you hone in on your skies. So there you go. And keep in mind, you know, you'll see these through the trees even when you're shooting naturally. So anyways, there is that one. One thing that I forgot to mention or didn't mention was whenever you're doing the magic selection tool here that we did, it's the quick selection. I don't know why I keep calling it magic selection. So you select your image here, right? There's a lot of things that I do. First of all, I always feather. So you can feather. If you're getting a halo, you need to expand a little bit, which means it just moves it up a little bit onto everything else. Contract does the exact opposite, but always feather. And then there's also this refine edge tool up here, and it will show you what you've selected. So I see here that her hair bow blended in, so I need to get that on there. All of this didn't come in. It does a really good job around hair and things like that that is sometimes hard to select. And so you'll do that and you'll modify it. And there's a bunch of different things here that you can do. And you don't have to use the red. You can use any of those. So those are all really good. And then you'll click OK and it'll give you your selection. And just like we did before. And this is the natural sky in this picture. As I said before, I try to shoot to keep my skies in. And then I use editing to really bring them out. But I was going to do something different with this one because it was kind of it was an ugly day, kind of. Not ugly, it just was stormy. So I was going to brighten it up a little bit. So I normally wouldn't do this kind of sky with this image because it really doesn't go. But I'll show you what you can do here. One thing I will do is I would just do a color balance. And our original sky was kind of purplish, and so was the day. So if I want to try to blend these two together, that's what I'm going to do for the sky. I'm going to put that on there. So let's do this. First of all, let's reduce. I can't really reduce the opacity of this one too much because I have a sky underneath there. But if you didn't, you could. And then grab a black brush, and then I'm just going to blend the two skies together. And so it's just going to give it a completely different look. And what I would probably do is also do what we did before on the water selection and bring this over the water, put it on multiply, do a few things there. So as you can see, it's just a pretty little, it's just something different. It makes the day look a little bit funner and brighter. But if we didn't tone it to where the other one, see, it does look like daytime instead of stormy. But I was trying to keep the same look here. So anyways, that's just cute. I thought I would show you guys that. Just all the refined tools because those help with your selections a lot. So good luck, ladies.